December 2nd. Bloop bloop. Let's see. Cremation. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. From Amy Rose, passing on this lovely thank you note. From Lizzie Duval to Amy Rose. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you. From Jen Love. Charlie, I was doing some reading. You know I hate it when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you are of people getting scared to ask about your day. So maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm gonna try it out because turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you, let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for the death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure it works yet, though. From Matthew Jeffrey. For paycheck coming late, sorry. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom-and-pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you, so I'm starving, so I'm gonna go grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. Swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? Beef and cheddar? I'm gonna take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course, it freaks people out. I love it, they get so awkward. Let me know, I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough money to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I could cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this, I assure you it won't happen again. Huh. From Funerals Monthly, LGBTQ Funerals, Respect. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in the obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraught directive: enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of body or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it to observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different. And because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death always takes away this respect. It also inflicts harm and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on laws around same-sex marriage. This doesn't mean you're not dealing with 2 people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Okay, cremation. Cool. On it. So, I guess we go here. How does a cremation work? Before we cremate Miss Hall, we need to prepare her body. Okay. Miss Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before a cremation process as to not damage them. Okay. Let's start by removing Miss Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace to place it on the purple tray. We will place the necklace in the urn with Miss Hall's remains later. You need to be able to identify Miss Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Great, Miss Hall's all set up to be cremated now. Oh, that's all that's needed. Okay. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn the bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator, we'll break those bone fragments down to ash-like remains. Start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Here, I guess. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back onto the counter. Make sure to put Miss Hall's necklace back into the urn. Click on the necklace and drag it in there. Oh. Don't forget the tag. Click on the round identification tag and drag it to the urn. Last step, click on the urn's lid and drag it on top of the urn. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Okay. This is nice in a weird way. She liked that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Well, that's good. The food is good at least. Glad she was cremated, not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be so sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up. Not once. Okay. On to the next. February 14th. News about the future of Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hi all, it is with very, very heavy heart that I write to let you know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and the resources I googled told me that it would be best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting hard to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for the business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes. Larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. Or so I've been bought, or I sold. Either way. Soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They'll be keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes, though honestly I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move onto their part to keep up the image. It's a family-run business. I don't know how to feel about that, but I don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I'll sign the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easy for me. Please understand. Oh, that sucks. Shirley, I thought you'd like to read this thank you note. From Margarita Hall. Hi, Amy. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, Margareta. Cremation with a pacemaker? Please note the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Hi, Amy. You asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks. Mariana. From Amy Rose, I don't know what to do. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who could really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. It'd be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles... This is Ryan Garcia. He was from the first person that passed away. But you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out. You know, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do right now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough, with work and the will, and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. Huh. Jen Love, a challenger approaches. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Like, get it? You get it? It's like a Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves, so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kinda looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to. One of us is in town next. And from Funeral Monthly. Keep on protecting the earth with green burials. Oh, and there's Tales from the Crypts. Okay. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, so doing your part to reduce pollution generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's what the thinking for a lot of people who are turning green or are natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be involved with chemicals that can damage the environment. And bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So, better for people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we do on the environment while we're gone. We here at Funeral Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. There's Tales from the Crypts. Oh, I can play this. Okay. Oh, I died. Okay, I see how that works. Okay. I was never very good at Minesweeper. So I don't know how any of this works, really. Anyway, Oh, wait, I have to actually do something. This one. Okay, so what are we doing with this guy's pacemaker then? His race came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as somebody did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Race has a pacemaker that we need to remove before a cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine. We definitely do not want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Ray's pacemaker. Okay? You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to drag the pacemaker out of the heart. Place around identification tag. There we go. Okay. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down to ash-like remains. Just like before. Okay. Cool. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and attend the funeral. Let's see. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn, that's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course, he never listened to me, so that figures. Okay. February 28th, so same month, a few weeks later. We're owned by a different company now, so... I mean, we still have our job. That's a good thing, at least. From Amy Rose to Charlie. Thought I'd pass this along to you. Hi, Amy. Just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and I apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Oh. Our son. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront the situation yet anyways. They're never easy. Rosalind Dudless has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for a cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will, or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with the body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this one on if you're uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is a suicide something you're comfortable with dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. From Manuel Scott to Amy Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Huh. Jen Love. Mushrooms! You ate mushrooms so much I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker, look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you, think about it, and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably gonna do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, right? Funerals monthly. Things to avoid saying at a funeral. Welcome back! Now we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's our advice. What not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people, but fortunately we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is, Funerals Monthly Top 5 Things to Not Say at a Funeral. Number 1, at least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love for the best? Like I said, it's not... Even if it's true, don't be the jerk and just don't say it. Were they saved? No religious statements, just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is not always comforting, it can also be insulting. They're with angels now. See above's note, then rinse repeat. Let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. But a quicker version of this list can be applied in any situation. Don't say stuff for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. I mean, this is about the same that it was before. This is tough. This is a very tough subject. This is extremely difficult to deal with here. I'm actually not comfortable. So we'll prepare a different body instead. Okay. So we'll prepare this body instead. This is a different body, I assume. Deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Okay. Clean the body. Rigor mortis by massaging the body. Okay. Insert eye caps. Glue each eye shut. This is the glue. Put cotton balls into the mouth. Moisturize the body, right. There. Incision into the neck, right. I'm glad they keep giving me directions because this is quite complicated and I would probably forget it. Connect the involving machine. There we go. Hard to tell exactly where they wanted me to click there. Turn on. that. And trocar. All done. Mike will take care of Miss Rossi's makeup and put her in the casket. Okay.